don't eat meat. I became a vegetarian about 15 years ago. Um, I was actually studying under a Native American shaman. He had me walking in nature every day. And one day I was sitting underneath a big oak tree and I looked up and there was an owl. Big owl. And I stood up and I was watching him and I was just blown away by the beauty of this big old beast. And I remembered these memories of me as a child came flooding back of how I had hunted and killed. And, you know, I'm not against hunting and all that stuff, but I did it without respect. I killed just anything that moved, and half the time I didn't eat it. I was very disrespectful. And so these feelings of remorse and guilt came over me. And I thought to myself, God, how could I ever make that right? I was a rotten little kid. And then the thought occurred to me, well, you know, you could stop killing right now. And I thought, wow, what a concept.
Shortly before the start of World War II, my mom, Betty Jane, met my dad, Dean, while attending high school in Warren, Pennsylvania. They fell in love but postponed getting married because my dad enlisted after the attack on Pearl Harbor. He was assigned to a submarine and he fought the Japanese in the South Pacific. I was the second of 6 children born into the family. I have an older brother named Tom and 4 younger siblings. There are 3 girls, Karen, Pam, Mary, and my little brother Roger. When we were kids, Dad used to regale us with tales of his heroic war exploits. My favorite story was the one about him drinking some exotic South Seas moonshine while on shore leave. He said upon returning to the boat that evening he got sick all over the deck, and he swore to us kids that the moonshine caused the paint to peel right off the deck of the sub. We could always rely on Dad for a great war story. My memories of growing up in Warren are good ones. We were a tight-knit group, and as a family, we loved the great outdoors. It's a little-known fact that the town of Warren has produced more blues wizards per capita than any other place in America. It's true. During this time, I was lucky enough to be able to spend time with my grandfather on my mom's side. His name was Clemens Anderson. And what I remember most about Grandpa was his kind and soft-spoken demeanor. I never heard him raise his voice, let alone cuss. He was the first person to introduce me to hand tools, and we worked on small projects together in his wood shop. Funny thing about Grandpa Clem, a few years after he passed away, I was digging through a box that had some family papers in it. I was shocked to discover the man I knew as both a pacifist and a gentle soul had to witness the hell of trench warfare while manning a .50 caliber machine gun in France during World War I. Grandpa Clem lasted 2 weeks before a mustard gas took him out of action for good. He never talked to anybody about the war. Never. I remember one time when my dad took us all out to teach us to safely handle firearms and to get some target practice in. When Grandpa found out about this, he expressed concern to my dad. Anger was not in my grandpa's makeup, but I remember the sense of his disapproval over my dad doing this. I did not understand his feeling towards guns at the time, but after I found his service records and what he had went through, his weariness of firearms now made sense to me. Pacifism and working with my hands are 2 traits I owe my Grandpa Clem, the gentle giant. I'm proud to say these 2 gifts are still with me today. After World War II, my dad had taken advantage of the GI Bill and decided to go into the auto body repair trade. With so many GIs now back stateside, the post-war boom had put a new car in every garage. The timing of my dad's entrance into the auto repair industry was nearly perfect. We were never rich, but my dad made a decent living at being either a body man, a painter, a claims adjuster, or a shop manager. This kept a roof over our heads and provided for him and my mom for the next 40 years. This job also opened doors to relocate to almost anywhere in the USA. It was a tough decision to leave the beauty and safe haven that Warren had given the young Kifer family, but a chance to move out west was too much to pass up.